Yo, what's good, YouTube family? It's AD, aka AD Beats LV, AD's reaction channel. Coming back with another video. Press like, subscribe, share, help grow the channel if possible. Really appreciate it, humbly. And I'm about to throw this video at y'all today. I put some clips together about a gentleman named Sandman Negus, and he's from Los Angeles. He was one of the first artists that Big U signed, and with all the stuff going on with this Rico case and everything with Big U, and the history he's been having with certain things as far as artists, I felt like there were some things that kind of connect, and I was kind of putting stuff together mentally, like it could have been possible. This fellow passed away at an early age due to street business, and gang banging out there in LA, and he was on to some bigger, greater, and better things, but his life was cut short. So I put together some clips. I'm not going to be stopping and interjecting that much or reacting that much, maybe a couple times or so, but I'm gonna just let this video run. I put some subtitles in it, so hopefully you guys like it. You know what I'm saying? It'll make you think, and we're gonna get right into it. Let's go.
Welcome to Hood War Stories. In this episode, I'll be discussing the life of Sandman Negus.
And by the way, go subscribe to Hood War Stories. I'm subscribed. He has good content channels. Not channels, but videos that has to deal with everything around the United States, the culture, different neighborhoods, things of that nature. So go check him out. I'll put the link in the description. Let's go.
Sadar Fasai was born on January 12, 1986, in Bulgaria. Although Sandman is from Eritrea, the war between Ethiopia and Eritrea forced his family to migrate to different countries in Africa, leading to his birth in Bulgaria. Due to war and government corruption, the Fasai family could not obtain Sandman's birth certificate, and shortly after his mother gave birth, the family was forced to move to Sudan. In 1993, at the age of 7, the Fasai family moved to the United States in hope of a better future for their family. The family settled in Los Angeles to begin their new life. Sandman was enrolled in school and began second grade at Hyde Park Elementary. He grew up in the heart of the Rolling 60s dime block clique, Hyde Park and 10th Avenue to be exact. In the late 1990s, a young Sandman was already making contributions to the 60s clique that ruled his block. In one incident, Sandman nearly got Drew Down killed. One day, Drew Down was randomly parked in a red car on 10th Ave in Hyde Park. This was a couple houses away from where Sandman lived. On that particular afternoon, Sandman was patrolling the block on his bike, acting as a lookout for enemies or cops. Just the night before, a Rolling 60 had been gunned down, and there was a visual at the corner. As Sandman spots Drew in the red car, he busts a U-turn on his bike, pulls up, and says, "What up, cuz?" Drew then threw up the 5, which prompted Sandman to speed off on his bike to the liquor store to alert more 6-0 members. A few minutes later, 2 carloads of 6-0 members pull up on Drew and box him in. 2 choppers raised over the roof and were pointed at him, while 2 other 6-0 members jumped out and swarmed Drew at his car door. Drew didn't even have his car keys to attempt to get away. Drew got Drew down literally, and had to explain himself and plead his case while staring down a barrel of a Tech 9. After a few minutes of deliberation, Drew was given a pass after nearly begging for his life, but he was still stuck because he didn't have his car keys. After the 2 cars drove away, Drew ran up in a 3-story building on 10th Ave with fear in his eyes. A homegirl let him in, made sure the coast was clear, and helped him get out of there alive. In 1997, Sandman's eldest brother died from gangrene, and this tragedy took a heavy toll on young Sandman. His brother was always someone he looked up to and admired. From that day on, Sandman began rapping and writing. A piece of Sandman had died, and Sandman Negus was born. At the start, he was influenced by rappers such as Tupac and Nas. Sandman spent a lot of his time tapping into his artistic abilities, making music, sketching, painting, and drawing. Sandman grew up in a disciplined home, with a strict father that led Sandman to become rebellious. In his teen years, Sandman also worked at his family's gas station that was located on Florence and Crenshaw. In 2005, he was recruited by Yahoo and Pepsi as a West Coast representative in a segment called Mike Pass. During this time, Sandman was being managed by Big U. He was actually one of the first artists Big U started working with and had on his unique music entertainment label.
Sandman Negus, coming at you. Got next. No, you got now. Watch it. Here we come.
This was before Big U started fully focusing on Nipsey. Sandman knew Nipsey from a young age as a result of Nipsey's father and Sandman's parents being close.
Sandman, what's up, though? What y'all man, shit? We just all like go off the little neighborhood and take credit cards up. Yeah, like get shit cracked in. Yeah, that's what it is. I know what it is, man. Me and Sandman, we bros on many levels. Cut from the turf, day one nigga. Cut from back home, same place I'm from. We got the same ethnicity. Oh yeah. Tell us about that. Yeah. Nah, you know. We descend from East Africa. That's where our family come from, our folks come from. You know, we out here in America. My pops came out here when he was 19, so I was born and raised out here. But I'm a first generation out of my family, out of the men that's grown up out here. So, you know, we had a different type of struggle. Yeah, same one nigga. So, you know, we getting it though, man. Ain't nothing stopping us. Ain't no brick wall, only speed bumps, my nigga. That's the motto.
We bounce over them?
Yeah, 100.
Well, no distractions, no interferences out here.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, check this out. You can tell that them two, they're like almost one and the same. You know, they're from the same country or whatever, and you can just tell they're like one and the same. You know what I'm saying? So that's what really stuck out to me too as I'm watching these different clips and stuff like that. Because I knew about Sandman since about like 2016. 2017 is when I really got hip to him. He was already passed away by then, but that's when I like found out about him and knew that he came a little bit before Nip did, and he was from the same country, Africa, East Africa, and everything. So it's real interesting. Let's go.
He spent months in jail for an alleged robbery for which he was later found not guilty. At this point in his life, Sandman turned fully to the streets, and by the age of 20, he took a wrong turn in his life and ended up in jail again. After he got out, he slowly started to change his life around. But on August 2nd, 2008, after leaving the studio to take a friend home, he was followed by gang members. After they walked up, they muttered a few words and opened fire. Bullets shattered the windshield, and Sandman was struck 9 times. He was shot in his colon, liver, both lungs, left and right diaphragm, shoulders, and neck.
Getting shot in your colon? Oh my goodness gracious. Woo.
He had to undergo 8 surgeries and was in a coma for 26 days. Miraculously, he was able to recover from the shooting and use music as his therapy. At the time of the shooting, the Centinela Park families and Road 60s were going back and forth at an all-time high. Sandman continued to push his music in the studio day and night and shoot music videos every week. His work ethic was amazing. On September 27th, 2012, Sandman was fatally shot in the alley on the 4300 block of Crenshaw. The location is in very close proximity to Big U's Unique Studios. After his death, rumors began to fly in LA that BPS, Troubles, Schoolyard, or the 60s did it. Many thought the circumstances surrounding his death were fishy. Court records show that earlier that day, a few 4-Trade gangster Crips got into a skirmish with 40 members at the McDonald's on Crenshaw. One of those 4-Trade members being Oliver. After getting punched in the face, Oliver and a few gang members drove back to their hood park to regroup. About an hour later, the 4-Trade members returned near the McDonald's, in an alley, where Oliver allegedly fired a weapon over the roof of the vehicle, fatally striking Sandman. 6 days after Sandman was shot, Oliver sent a text saying, "Nah, Shanika just called me talking about I gotta leave LA, everybody know. She said she wanna meet with me and talk, but I'ma tell, just about the fight, not the shooting." A week after the shooting, Oliver changed his phone number, and 2 months after Sandman was killed, Oliver was detained. Oliver Goodrich was eventually found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to 50 years to life. The family of Sandman was not satisfied with the outcome and believed something deeper happened. Court records said there was no evidence that Sandman had anything to do with the fight at McDonald's, nor was he even present when Oliver got punched. The LA streets been talking, and it's widely believed that the 60s allegedly had a hand in Sandman's murder. Many people also compare Sandman's story to Nipsey's, although it is believed at the time of Sandman's death, he and Nipsey were not on good terms. And it's been noticed how Nipsey or the 60s don't honor Sandman's memory with frequency.
And yeah, and I don't understand that either. I never found any footage of them, you know, because back then it wasn't popular to get on internet and beef and, you know, and put all of the business out there on Front Street on the internet. So, but I did try to look up to see what their issues were, you know, but I couldn't find anything. So, but it gets interesting as we go. Let's keep going. Let's go.
Sandman used his passion for music to elevate himself and his family. He believed in the grind and always represented for his home country.
That's what I'm about, man, teaching everybody out there some knowledge that they ain't seen about, because there's more out there that we don't know about, that we do need to know about, and it's being blocked, you know what I'm saying? In order for you to find out, you got to find out on your own. and do some research, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, keep people that's on finding out the truth, not the false, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of false out there, false advertisement, and, you know, do your own research, man. You know, look at the times we in right now, you feel me? Ain't nobody talking about what's going on, but you know what's going on. So, you know, do your research, man.
That's where you from?
Yeah, that's where I'm from, man. Originally from Eritrea.
Let's go. There go old boy.
I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
I started doing my music on my own, you feel me? So I started doing shows and doing my own music and putting it out myself, you feel me?
Independently.
My first video was Extras Volume 1, and it made a big noise, 300,000 hits, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, it had a big buzz in the streets, a big buzz.
You got a lot of attention to a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I knew to move progressively. You can do it by yourself, feel me? You really don't need nobody.
It's all about the
to make
grind,
your
man.
shit, you know?
You see, that's interesting too, because I'm wondering, was this before, you know, Big U started working with Nip real heavy, when Sandman decided, you know what, I don't really need Big U. You know, I can pretty much do everything myself, go ahead and, you know, I can be my own manager and all that. So I'm just wondering, around this time, did he break off from Big U and start doing his own thing? And then Big U started focusing on Nip. And then, you know, he was probably upset at Sandman because Sandman didn't need his help, or didn't want his help, and wanted to do the stuff on his own. So it's like almost those stories almost correlate to each other as far as him and Nip go, because Nip did Big U the same way. After a certain amount of time, he learned the business, and he just was like, man, I don't need Big U. All Big U is around for is to get paid, you know what I'm saying, for really not doing a whole bunch, you know, after, you know, a while. So let's go.
Sandman would even start going to his country to get back and performing shows. He even did several songs dedicated to his country.
Strongest East African army, and the winner is Sawa. Definition soldiers, definition rebels, definition riders, definitely killer. Last of a time breed, no busters. But some back with bullets, she can't fade us. This is my nature. I was born a rider. I went to military, elementary shot B.
Even being in protest. He
Yo,
would even start making waves in the
that's pretty hard too, you know what I'm saying? Oh boy, he was spitting back in that day, which is like the mid 2000s. Dude, he was on top of his game though. He could spit though, you know what I'm saying? He got some skill. Let's go.
industry and start being in circles of more known artists at the time, like Glasses Malone, Compton Menace, Sean Kingston, and Meek Mill. Sandman would keep up with his Day in the Life series, even having a segment with Nipsey Hussle on it.
I know what it is, man. Me and Sandman, we bros on many levels. Back home, same place I'm from, we got the same ethnicity. Oh yeah, tell them about that. Yeah, nah, you know, we descend from East Africa. That's where our family comes from, our folks come from. You know, we out here in America. My pops came out here when he was 19, so I was born and raised out here. But I'm a first generation out of my family, out of the men that's grown up out here. So, you know, we had.
Sandman would release numerous of songs from 2010 to 2012, which him and Nipsey Hussle were the rising rappers of the rolling 60s among many. But on September 28, 2012, Sandman unfortunately lost his life. He was only 26 years old. He was killed in the alley on Crenshaw Boulevard. It is said that Sandman and his crew got into an altercation with another group inside of McDonald's. This led to a man on the opposing side getting punched and later wanting revenge. This was all captured on tape inside the McDonald's, and this later led to Sandman getting shot in the alley by the man who got punched inside the McDonald's. This shooting was captured on tape and later led to a man named Oliver being caught and arrested. He later received 50 years to life for shooting Sandman and taking his life.
On September 27, 2012, Sandman was fatally shot in the alley on the 4300 block of Crenshaw. The location is in very close proximity to Big U's unique studios. After his death, rumors began to fly in LA that BPS, Troubles, Schoolyard, or the 6-0s did it. Many thought the circumstances surrounding his death were fishy. Court records show that earlier that day, a few 4-Trade gangster Crips got into a skirmish with 40 members at the McDonald's on Crenshaw. One of those 4-Trade members being Oliver. After getting punched in the face, Oliver and a few gang members drove back to their hood park to regroup. About an hour later, the 4-Trade members returned near the McDonald's. in an alley where Oliver allegedly fired a weapon over the roof of the vehicle, fatally striking Sandman. 6 days after Sandman was shot, Oliver sent a text saying, "Nah, Shanika just called me talking about I gotta leave LA, everybody know. She said she wanna meet with me and talk, but I'ma tell just about the fight, not the shooting." A week after the shooting, Oliver changed his phone number. And 2 months after Sandman was killed, Oliver was detained. Oliver Goodrich was eventually found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to 50 years to life. The family of Sandman was not satisfied with the outcome and believed something deeper happened. Court records said that there was no evidence that Sandman had anything to do with the fight at McDonald's, nor was he even present when Oliver got punched. The LA streets been talking, and it's widely believed that the 6-0s allegedly had a hand in Sandman's murder.
See that right there? There's another correlation to other situations, and it's just real fishy that, he was tied to, Big U, and they allegedly say that Big U, has something to do with his demise, because, he wanted to fire. I guess he did fire Big U and started doing the music on his own and didn't need that help. So, the story seems to be kind of repeating itself in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So let's go.
People also compare Sandman's story to Nipsey's, although it is believed at the time of Sandman's death, he and Nipsey were not on good terms. And it's been noticed how Nipsey or the 60s don't honor Sandman's memory with frequency.
Yeah, and that's what I wondered too. It's like, why? Like, cause I've never heard anybody say, you know what I'm saying? I miss my dude Sandman, you know what I'm saying? RIP or NIP, like they be saying. Like, I've never heard anybody shout out Sandman because he was from 6-0, but nobody. So I wonder what that's all about. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
I'm about, man, teaching everybody out there some knowledge that they ain't seen about, because there's more out there that we don't know about, that we do need to know about, and it's being blocked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. In order for you to find out, you got to find out on your own and do some research. You know what I'm saying? And keep people that's on finding out the truth, not the false. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of false out there, false advertisement. Do your own research, man. Look at the times we in right now. You feel me? Ain't nobody talking about what's going on, but you know what's going on. So, do your research, man.
That's where you from?
Yeah, that's where I'm from, man. Originally from Eritrea.
Sandman Negus, coming at you. Got next. No, you got now. Watch you.
Big bully.
Yeah. Drive slow. Listen, shit off the block when shit happens, I'm locked. Drive-by thunderdomes and niggas running from crash cops. 10th Avenue, a place I call home. That's the same block where they killed that Tone. That's the same block where they locked up Rose. They giving young niggas life in the hood all day.
My trunk full of OZs, pocket full of C-notes. Ain't it the shorty wanna roll with a baller? Don't blame me, no, don't blame me, no. I travel around my passport, got stamps on it. She saw the Bentley and got naked and she danced on it. Don't blame me, don't blame me.
Not guilty, your honor, can't blame me cause I'm a hustler. Ain't nobody gave me shit, so I had to grind hard as top dollar on the corner, pockets fat like my wallet. I'm flying as they come.
Yo, that's a crazy story right there. It's like, you just wonder, what happened? I didn't even know of him, until, I caught wind of him by, looking up Nipsey and things of that nature and the stuff that happened with him, and then he had popped up. But I just find it real kind of suspicious that he passed away almost kind of like the same way Nip passed away, and this new kid that Big U was dealing with on his record label. And now he's allegedly being accused of unaliving the kid because he made a diss song, so it's like everything is almost like, Big U is the common denominator, and I find it real interesting. But you can, Sandman Negus, is it? I don't know exactly how. I think it's Negus or Negus. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to be funny, but he still has a YouTube channel. All his videos are still up, and you can go rock to him. Just put in the Sandman Negus, and you can check out all his music. He's dope. He's a dope artist. He would have been, I say he's like a Nipsey on steroids, you know, because the two different, the difference between him and Nip was from East Africa, but he was born in LA and was raised, you know, in LA. And then, you know, when he was a teenager, he went back to his home country to, you know, learn about his roots. Now, Sandman, he was actually born over there. He was like born in the conflict, you know, and actually got to witness the conflict as a little kid or whatever. So his roots was more deeply rooted, you know, in his blood, in his bloodline and everything, because he was actually born out that way. And then they came over when he was already like 7. Well, they say like 7, 8 years old. So he already had, you know, the mentality of a soldier, and he knew what conflict was early on. So I feel like, you know, if the things wouldn't have happened the way they did with him, he just would have been a Nip on steroids, you know what I'm saying? Helping his community, help build things, going back and forth, because he was already doing shows in Eritrea already back then. You know what I'm saying? They embraced him early. Like, so if he would have survived and been here, you know, he probably would have been as big or bigger than Nip was, as far as, you know, helping his community, going back and forth, getting mad support from East Africans and everything like that. But it's a sad story, man. We've lost so many people, you know, good people too, you know. Good people do bad things as well, but they're still good people. And we've all lost good people. And it's unfortunate. I hope he's resting in peace. I hope his family's kind of at peace and it's kind of healed up from that kind of thing, because it's never, you know, an easy thing. So, but I don't want to keep you guys. I figured that would be a cool video to do. He popped up again in my timeline. I was like, you know what? With this Big U stuff going on and all that, I'm like, this would be a good way to bring his name back alive and to show that, you know, he was like a Nipsey Hussle on steroids. You know, you can go check out his story, go listen to his music. He's dope. He was a dope artist, and some of his music is still dope right now. So with that being said, I'm AD, aka AD Beats LV, the AD's reaction channel. I hope you guys kind of like this type of setup I did. I was like, man, it's Sunday, I ain't gonna be on camera. You know, I'll just go ahead and narrate, you know, not so much do reactions, just, you know, narrate and give my little commentary, you know, on it. So hopefully you guys liked it. You guys have a good rest of your evening, morning, night, whatever time zone you are. Press like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I really appreciate it. And y'all have a great night. Peace.